Okay, so this is the business of writing. So in this class period, I'm going to go through just what we're going to talk about throughout the semester, things that you guys will be required to do, and then just kind of getting some stuff set up for general stuff that we're going to do a lot. So first of all, hopefully you're in this class for one of these reasons. So you should take this class if you enjoy creative writing of some form or another. You have an interest in being published someday. If not, the second unit is going to be really boring for you, but that's fine. If you're interested in having a career in writing or publishing, or if you just want to learn more about writing and publishing. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing kind of throughout the semester. This class will be focused on fiction novels, but if you prefer to work on like short stories or even like screenplays or something, everything's still going to be applicable. It's just kind of like in a format that works better for like novels and stuff. Okay, at the end of the semester, you will have at least one chapter. That's kind of you're going to be required to have at least one chapter written and or a short story, or like if you're like, I want to write a screenplay, we'll talk about that. But at least a chapter of something or a short story that's been polished and edited. You're going to have a synopsis and or a blurb of what your finished project is going to be like. We're going to work on query letters. So at the end, you will have a query letter for either an agent or an editor. Yeah, so those are the stuff that you're going to get out of this class. For our first unit, which is basically just going to be term 3, we're going to focus on the actual writing itself and kind of things that you want to put into practice while you're writing. So we're going to talk about probably mostly in this order, how to craft an idea that is going to be sellable, right? So like, how do you know if your idea that you have is a good one and is going to be received well? How to turn that idea into something that your desired audience is going to want to read, and then how to, scaffold that into a bigger plot with characters, and then even more refined, we're going to talk about structuring chapters and scenes, and then how to edit your own work to make sure it's the best it can be. And then we're also going to work with writing groups. Okay, so term 4, unit 2, we are going to talk about the various avenues of publishing, what it takes to get published in various ways. We're going to practice preparing for publication and all that stuff. So we're going to talk about publishing houses, the quote unquote traditional track for publishing. We're going to talk about self-publishing, which is getting a lot more popular nowadays. And then we'll talk about kind of going back to traditional route, working with agents and editors, and then pitching your ideas. This is very important. So yeah, so we'll have a writing half of the class and then a publishing half of the class. And hopefully you guys find it useful and interesting and fun. Okay, so yeah, by the end, you will have blurbs, pitches, you'll know what you need in order to get published. I am now going to talk about my qualifications for teaching this class, because you probably want to know that your teacher knows what they're talking about. Writing is my passion. I'm a science teacher. I like science, but I want to be a writer. If I could quit and be a full-time writer, I would do that in a heartbeat. But unfortunately, writing is worse than teaching in paying the bills. Let's all be honest. Unless, you're like a Brandon Sanderson who makes billions of dollars off his books. So anyway, but I love it and do it for fun. I started writing my first novel when I was 13. When I was 14, I started writing full-length books with my best friend, all the pictures. We were writing 10 books at the same time. We were just like trading them back and forth, and like she would write a chapter and I would write a chapter. It was a lot, but we were like obsessed with it. And then like every year we went to writing conferences and we entered competitions and we won some of the competitions. So thank you. that was nice motivation to keep doing what we loved. And then I went to college, and even though writing wasn't my major, I kept doing it because it's what I love. We continued working together, and we started submitting short fiction pieces to a university publication. Like every university has a literary magazine, and you can anybody just submit their work. And we got accepted into literally all of them that we applied to. So yay. And a couple of my short fiction pieces won awards. Like small ones, but still, thank you. Okay, and then still we continued going to writing conferences and entering competitions and all of that stuff. Eventually, I keep forgetting, but I'll bring these in if any of you guys ever want to read them. But okay, so finally, we actually got published. So this is our first novel. Thank you. We got it published on May 25th, 2021. So it's actually a really unique story of how we got published. Very like it goes against all of the quote unquote like rules of publishing. So I'll give you like the quick version of the story. So the first weird thing is this is the first book either of us like ever completed, ever started writing. It started as basically Percy Jackson fan fiction. It took us forever to write. We started writing it in 7th grade at a sleepover. Right, seriously. So pretty much every like publisher ever will tell you the first book you ever write is garbage, throw it away, it'll never get published. That's pretty much what they say. And ours got published, so proves you wrong. Another thing that they say is if you post your stuff on those websites that you just like post it for free and people read it, it's never going to get published that way. Well, that's what we did. We posted it on one of those websites. Anybody could read it, published it for free. A couple of months later, the owners of the website were like, hey, we want to publish this book. So we got a publishing deal from that. And then the third thing that never happens is after we already signed on with these people, we got an agent. Usually you get your agent beforehand, but we, went through all of this. We already like had our deal with the publishers. And I like got in contact with an old friend and he was like, hey, I'm an agent now. Can I represent you guys? And I was like, yeah, great. He's not my agent anymore, but that's a different story for later. So anyway, there you go. That was fun. So this is like our original title, our original cover when we published it on this site. It was called Swoon Reads. They've actually rebranded. Now it's called Fierce Reads. So if any of you guys are interested in publishing on one of those sites, it's called Fierce Reads. And it's under the umbrella of Macmillan Publishing. So it's kind of legit. And then this is me doing my very first author signing at an event. It was awesome. I haven't been published since because the publishing world is very difficult to navigate and crazy, even if you already have stuff published. But I am currently still working on continuing being an author and getting published. I plan on self-publishing a science fantasy novel on Kindle Vella, which is a new Kindle Unlimited kind of branch, in the spring. And we'll talk about that more when we get into our publishing unit later.